So, I want to talk to you today about the number one reason why people procrastinate. And that is because they think that they don't have any time. It's like the number one reason. Does this resonate with you? The number one thing, people, they're just like, I'm procrastinating because I have all these other things to do. Okay. The fact is you are procrastinating and don't have time. I mean, it's a whole other conversation on like what time actually is. That's a much deeper conversation. But you have to understand the biggest thing that you're missing is knowing what you want and why you want it. Okay. So many people procrastinate because they lack a clear sense of direction. Okay. When you don't know where you're going, you just kind of spin and going to take a road trip. I need to know that I'm currently in my driveway. I need to know where I currently am, and I need to know where I'm currently going to go. Or I'm just going to sit in my driveway. No direction. And guess what? I'm probably going to procrastinate driving anywhere because I'm like, I don't freaking know where I'm going. Does that make sense? Anything you're procrastinating, you either don't know even why you want it, what you want, or maybe you're waiting for all the steps to be shown to you before you get there. You take the road trip analogy, right? If I know that I am currently, let's pick a destination. I'm currently in Ontario, Canada, and I want to drive to Florida. Okay, so I know my destination's Florida. Do I need to know every road to get there? No, I don't. I really just need to know the first few roads. I'm going to type it into my GPS or I'm going to type it into Google Maps. If I'm really feeling old school, I'll take out the big paper atlas, start navigating. But at least I know the direction I'm going. Because what happens then is when I'm driving down the road and there's construction, or there's been an accident, or there's something that's preventing me from moving forward, an outside circumstance that really I have no control over, when those things pop in, I'm not just going to like pull over to the side of the road and sit there and cry about it. Or sit there in fear and procrastinate moving forward. Because I know where I'm going. And if I know why I want to go to Florida, that motivates me even more. Like picture yourself when you're like, you're going on a holiday, okay? And you're really excited to go on the holiday. So you start, like, I know for me, like I start packing like a week ahead. Like I'll take the suitcases out and I'll start putting stuff in the area to like start wrapping my head around it. I'm really excited. Maybe I'm looking at pictures online of where I'm going, right? It's like I'm excited. But then on the way home, do you think I start packing early to come back home? No, you don't. You kind of just, throw everything in last minute. Right? Like it's just you're motivated to get there because I know why I'm going there. I know I've already attached myself to the feeling of what it's going to feel like to X, Y, and Z. Okay, but when you have that why, so you know why you want it, a lot of the things you guys are procrastinating, you don't even really want it. You don't even really want it. You think you want it or somebody told you that you want it, but you don't actually want it. So it actually needs to just go. But if you're going, no, like I know why I want it and I want it, okay, then you need a well-defined goal and actions to go along with it. You need a plan. Again, I'm not just going to get in the car and be like, oh, I need to, like, I have a rough idea of how I'm getting to Florida. But if I have to take a detour, I'm fine with it because I know what and I know why. But your lack of direction, it's going to waste time, energy, and it's going to hinder the whole process. When you are in alignment with what it is that you want, this is crucial to you not wasting any more time to get it done. Okay, when you have a clear goal, you're more likely to also prioritize the task. Right? And then this alignment ensures that your time that you do spend on it is spent purposefully, moving you closer and closer and closer and closer to whatever outcome it is that you want. Either way, maybe you've heard this saying, nature abhors a vacuum. Okay, so what that actually means is when it comes to time, all space and time are always filled. Okay, if you don't fill the time with something meaningful, naturally, it'll get filled for you. Picture even like physically. So if you have like a plot of land that you're gonna plant a garden in, okay, and you pick all the weeds, you till up the land, and say you procrastinate and it takes you 2 weeks to get the seeds in the ground. Okay, because you didn't fill that land with anything, guess what you're going to find in 2 weeks when you go back to the land to start doing stuff? You're going to find nature already started taking care of it, and the weeds are starting to come back up, and some debris and all the things have already, and you got to do it possibly all over again. You got to prepare it. Okay, time and space is always filled, so you have to choose what you're going to fill it with. And this is where coming up with the plan is super important. Like if you're planting a garden, you can, like, had you planned to plant the seeds the same time right directly after you prepared the soil, you wouldn't have had that issue. Like farmers understand this. And I grew up in a farming community. It is very methodical. They know it doesn't matter whether it's Saturday or Sunday, or if they've already worked 10 days in a row, doesn't matter. You get the land prepared, you get the seeds in the ground, and you start taking care of the seeds right away. And if you can see that it's going to rain, so that those seeds can be watered, you see that opportunity coming, you do whatever you need to do to get it in there. You're working all night. There's no procrastinating, or else you lose your window of opportunity. Particularly where I came from, where like the season was like this big. If every single one of us looked at what we wanted to achieve and we were the farmer, everybody would have no problems. But we don't. We procrastinate them. And a lot of it comes down to motivation. Understanding why you want to achieve that particular goal is key to overcoming the procrastination. If your desire for something isn't strong enough, it'll be easy to just not take action. But when you clarify what is your motive, like the farmer knows what is at the end of a harvest season. So then they're motivated, whether it's by, they're going to be able to feed themselves this winter, or whether they're going to be able to feed other people or make money off of that food so that they can then whatever, like they have a motive attached to it. Like, do you have a like either way, you have a motive and you have a desire. But your desire to get it done has to be greater than your desire to put it off. But it's that recommitment that you have to make to it has to come from within you. Because once you've identified what your motive is, maybe it's money, maybe it's like, if it's the case of the vacation, maybe you're going somewhere hot and that's like your jam, you love it. You will then be able to come up with a plan and start taking action. I have on my wrist tattooed, just in case I forget, not like I'm going to forget, but just in case I need a reminder, it says breathe, ask, believe, receive. These are your steps to manifesting anything. Okay? You got to breathe into it. You got to get clarity. And then you got to ask. Now, asking, some people think it's like, oh, please, can I have $1 million? Or I really want to get healthy, or I really want that relationship, or ask. Sure. But asking really means taking action. And nothing happens until you take action. Okay, so if I desire, it's Friday night, I desire not to cook, and we're ordering pizza to go with our movie. Okay? So first I have to get clarity. I got to ask everybody, what kind of pizza do you want? Right? And we take all the orders from our family. Okay, well then guess what I have to do? I have to physically pick up the phone, and I have to like dial the pizza place, and I have to ask, not for what I don't want, but for what I want. I don't tell them what I don't want on my pizza. I only tell them what I want on my pizza. But guess what? If I don't take action, if I don't go pick up that phone in 45 minutes from now, when my pizza doesn't show up at my door, I can't be sitting there crying about it. But a lot of people do. And they go, well, I asked. Yeah, but you didn't take action. You didn't do anything about it. You sat there and you hoped and you wished but you didn't do anything. And in the line of work that I'm in the personal development industry, I hear people all the time. They go, oh my gosh, I read all the books and I do all the things. And I'm like, you read all the books and you listen to all the podcasts and you watch and listen to other people building out their goals and living out their purpose, but you're not actually doing anything. You're not taking action. Once you know where you're going, you got to take action. And if you're procrastinating it, you have to ask yourself, like, do you really want it? But if you're going, no, I do really want it, you need to understand procrastination is actually killing your goal. It's like this slow poison. Because without taking any action, just like the farmer, if the farmer doesn't put the seeds in the ground, he can't expect a crop. If the farmer that doesn't then go and water the seeds, like if it doesn't rain, he's not going to reach his goal. Without taking action, your goal is stagnant. It's just sitting there, and nothing in this universe is meant to be stagnant. The law of vibration and frequency says everything's moving, nothing rests. Everything's constantly in motion. But when it comes to whatever it is that you want to get done, whether it's cleaning out that closet or building your business or getting healthy or, creating a thriving relationship, whatever it is, you have to give energy to it. Okay? Or else it's unable to thrive and it will not come to fruition. Action is the force that breathes vitality into your goals, propelling them forward and transforming them from just an idea to something tangible. But you don't know until you actually do it. But a lot of times we're afraid, well, what if I mess it up? What if I lose? Well, in this game called life, you can't mess it up. You take action, you try something, and then it's either going to go exactly how you envisioned it, or you're going to pivot. And you'll know if you need to pivot because of how it makes you feel. If it doesn't feel good, it's time to pivot. And procrastinating something that you really want doesn't feel good. But only you can decide to pivot. I promise you, once you actually get started, there's this beautiful thing called momentum. And it'll take over. And it'll start building off new ideas. When I first had the idea of bringing other coaches in, it was more initially so that I could like serve more people and like have some balance for myself. And I was so scared to actually start to do it because I was like, what if somebody thinks this is a stupid idea? What if they don't see what I see? What if the coach I talk to actually likes working in a silo? But I promise you, the moment I started taking action on it, it was like a snowball rolling down a hill. And I couldn't stop it. Like there were times in that first year where Dave and I would look at each other and we'd be like, holy smokes, what did we do? Like we just birthed an elephant. Because it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger because we were giving it so much energy. And even when you take on something, there's going to be parts of it that you're like, I really have zero desire to do this part. Guess what'll happen? If you're open to it, you'll attract in the person or the thing or the tool or resource or whatever it is that you need in order to make it easier for you. As long as you're open to it. It's amazing how it works. But if you are not taking action in it, you're not watering the seed. You're not giving it the life that it needs. So the question is, do you have something that you're working on right now that all it needs is like a little breath of fresh air into it? Is there something that you've been putting off? I want you to ask yourself, what is it that I want? And why do I want it? And when you know those two things, it starts the snowball rolling, and then watch it take off. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. Bye-bye.